Right, hello, so we are post. I'm Giancarlo. This is Nathan, Shirley, and Stacy. Alright, so just to give a quick recap of what it is that we do, post main functions to streamline the data collection process. So before post, data was collected, as you see here, in physical logbooks, and this is clearly unsustainable for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's a lot more tedious to maintain, it's a lot more prone to being lost, and losing it obviously will create a lot more errors, and it's harder to track the data of the plants from a distance because you have to physically be there to observe the logbooks. So in order to improve this process, we kind of digitalized it, and that's where Post comes in. So Post basically is in charge of two apps with the data collection process, the ODK app and the Angular site. So the ODK app is the application that faces the users or the plant operators, and that's what they use to send data on the plants to our database. And then the Angular website is in charge of actually displaying the information and the data recorded by the plant operators and visualizing it for anyone who wishes to view it. So just to recap the main task for our semester, the overall task for Post was to encourage plant operators to send data more frequently and more regularly. And recently we have been having this issue in which plant operators were simply not sending data. For instance, if you were to go right now into the Angular site, you will see that a lot of plants don't even have any data. And even a lot of the ones that do have data, that data is from months ago, which is clearly not very useful to us right now. And this is obviously a very big issue because it limits the way in which we can monitor how our plants are doing. So if we don't have any data being sent by the plant operators, we have no data to visualize, which in turn means we have no metric or no idea to see how well our plants are doing, how poorly they are doing, and obviously that's not what we want. So in order to address this issue from the Angular side, we wanted to implement a login feature. The main goal of the login feature was to allow a user to log in with their Gmail credentials. Ideally, this user would be the plant operator, and then that user could then associate themselves with any plant, any number of plants. And then given that information, the user's email and the plants that the user is associated with, we would send the user, which in this case is the plant operator, emails to remind them or to encourage them to send plant data. And this would hopefully address the issue of the data sparsity that we're receiving from the operators. And then for the ODK site, we wanted to update and improve the Collect app.
So in terms of what we've accomplished with the Angular site this semester, we basically completely implemented all the features necessary for the Angular site, the data visualization, all the routing between the different tabs on the site are fully implemented, as well as what Giancarlo recently mentioned, the login feature is now also fully implemented. So if a plant operator or anyone with a Gmail account can log in, we can see that data manipulated to our liking in order to kind of connect it to the features that we were discussing earlier about sending emails out to these plant operators to kind of remind them that they need to submit their data. So in terms of that, the site has been connected to the Firebase database that we're trying to reintegrate with the website right now. In terms of work we're doing right now, like I mentioned, we have a cloud function actually set up right now to have the emails sent out to the different plant operators based off the Gmail credentials that they log in with our newly implemented login feature. Right now, we need to finish the Firebase work, including the functions that govern this logic. Right now, testing functions locally is our main concern, and we want to have these implemented by sometime next semester.
So after the symposium, we spent some time researching on how we can pre-configure the settings on a newly updated app. But then after spending time on the ODK forums, we realized that there's a lot of restrictions regarding on how we can set the default server, which is one of the main things that we need to do. So then we decided to get rid of our own fork version of the app and have operators download the original ODK app, which is constantly maintained by the people in charge of ODK. And then we have QR codes which operators can scan, and after they scan it, all of the settings, including user login and the default server, will be pre-configured onto their app. And this is actually more beneficial for both sides because it will be less error prone because operators don't need to enter all the information themselves now.
So currently what we're working on with ODK is to implement a help button that will be kind of like a reference for plant operators if they have questions on the form, the questions itself, or even just the machinery. If like there's a problem with the machinery, they can turn to the app. So this help option would be located inside the form. So then while they're going through the forms, it could be particular to either each question that the form asks or just like a general help page for the users. So currently we're brainstorming with Juan on how to go about implementing these static and non-static pages. And what we mean by that is we're hoping that we can create a prototype that handles 3 different types of like data, I guess. It can handle regular text, it can handle calculations. So for example, if one wanted to find the flow rate, they could put in some parameters in, and hopefully it could spit out some numbers for the plant operators. And then finally, we also want to have images, which will be really helpful because it could kind of depict maybe where in the machinery to turn to if you have this problem or how to fix that problem. And so after talking with Juan, we're really excited to continue with this because hopefully it will eliminate the need for Juan to go around to every single plant and you have to be physically there to help fix some problems that are pretty easy to fix, but it just means it's hard to kind of explain. So hopefully that problem will be fixed with the help option in the Collect app. And finally, we also want to be, we're also working on documenting just like what we're doing. So creating and using the QR codes for both future users and maybe for Juan and other people in Honduras, so they can know what to do as time goes on.
Right, so just to go over the future tasks for post going into next semester. For Angular, it's basically kind of what Nathan had mentioned before, that we want to implement the Firebase functions. We've been kind of stalled on that, and this is the functionality that will allow us to send the emails to the plant operators. And yeah, we want to fix the errors that we're having with that and hopefully have that implemented by some point next semester.
And for ODK, we hope that we can implement the help form by next semester and work with Juan to slowly start transitioning operators to using the original ODK Collect app and the QR codes.
All right, thank you for watching.